Let's get serious.
Hi, welcome to VR Jive. I'm Johnny Gat, and we're here to see if we can actually VR on a laptop. The guys at MSI are convinced that their GE62 VR is a capable laptop, more than able to handle all your VR needs. So I'm going to put this baby through its paces and show you what its performance is really like. Today we're looking at Serious Sam VR, the first encounter. Serious Sam, the first encounter, originally came out in 2001 and has been totally revamped to support VR. It was one of the first FPS games to come out with true co-op play. I've lost count of the amount of hours we spent playing this game at our local LAN parties, drinking beer and eating pizza to all hours of the night. The guys at Croteam have set a fine example on how to totally revamp old games to fully support VR. This 16-year-old game has been brought back to life in virtual reality and looks absolutely amazing on the HTC Vive. So I'm going to show you what its performance is like on both the NVIDIA GTX 1060 and the AMD RX 480. The first thing I did was play around with all the graphics quality settings to find the optimal settings that gave me the best quality graphics without feeling motion sick. The settings I found that gave me the best experience was CPU high, GPU medium, GPU memory ultra, and level caching ultra. Forced interleave reprojection was left off for our NVIDIA GTX 1060, but we had to turn it on for our AMD RX 480. All our game footage was recorded on the MSI GE62 VR. We've used the Oasis map and used the same path and weapons with all our tests. The MSI GE62 VR with the GTX 1060 installed lost absolutely no frames whatsoever during all of our gaming experience in Serious Sam the first encounter. And we've racked up over 3 hours worth of gameplay. As you can see from the frame timing data above, the game constantly enters into asynchronous reprojection, but this doesn't cause us any dramas in game. It looks good, everything's really clear, you can see things in the distance with no problem. I had to settle for medium GPU performance as going any higher gave me motion sickness. But even on medium settings, this game performs amazing on the GTX 1060. When comparing the GTX 1060 to the AMD RX 480, you'll notice that the application other and scene data is lower on the AMD RX 480, but the RX 480 constantly enters in and out of interleave reprojection. And quite often when the RX 480 entered in and out of interleave reprojection, it also dropped frames. And I found when using the AMD RX 480 without forcing interleave reprojection, the extra drop frames while you're moving around so fast induced motion sickness. And unfortunately, AMD does not yet support asynchronous reprojection. Asynchronous reprojection provides a much smoother transition between full frame rate and reprojection and does not drop any frames. So even though the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 seems to be working a little bit harder in application scene and data, it has the upper hand due to asynchronous reprojection. To fix the drop frame problems we were having with interleave reprojection, we enabled forced interleave reprojection in the graphics options. This gave us a very smooth experience, very similar to the GTX 1060. Once I enabled forced interleave reprojection on our AMD RX 480, I found it impossible to identify the difference in quality and smoothness between the two different GPUs. So going back to our frame timing data, as we can definitely see, the RX 480 is definitely not working as hard as the GTX 1060, but the RX 480 requires forced interleave reprojection, while the GeForce GTX 1060 is constantly in asynchronous reprojection. But with these settings, both the AMD RX 480 and the GeForce GTX 1060 look smooth, play smooth, and lose absolutely no frames. Considering how smooth the gameplay is with the settings we have, I would not be surprised if you could actually play Serious Sam The First Encounter VR on older GPUs as well. But as we can't experience the optimal settings in Serious Sam VR The First Encounter, a GPU upgrade would definitely be a big advantage for this game. From what we've seen here at VR Jive, Serious Sam VR The First Encounter performs a bit better on budget level GPUs like the GTX 1060 and the RX 480 than Serious Sam VR The Last Hope does. This game is definitely one of the most awesome experiences I've had with my HTC Vive to date. Serious Sam VR The First Encounter is like a perfectly restored classic muscle car that not only includes all the classic features that you love, but also has been upgraded with modern creature comforts and performance enhancements. This game is a must-have for everybody's VR collection. I've included the rest of the Oasis level in this video to give you a better idea of what gameplay is really like. If you've enjoyed this video and found the information informative, please like us and subscribe. And don't forget to check out all our other videos and guides at vrjive.com.
Let's get serious.